Good evening. My name is Bill Dean. I'm the president of the Texas Tech Alumni Association. And on behalf of the association and Texas Tech University, we'd like to welcome all of you to this ring ceremony. We have a little logistics problem we want to try and deal with. I'd like to ask all the ring recipients in all these four sections, if there is an empty seat on your right, would you get up and move over and fill it in? Don't go across the aisle, just fill in, just move to the right and fill in all the empty seats. Okay, I don't know if we can completely alleviate this problem, but there are empty seats for those of you who are standing, and you're welcome to come fill those seats in. You will not be able to get a ring, but you will have a seat. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, once again, welcome to the ceremony. This ring ceremony has become a major tradition here. We hope it's one that you will remember for a long time to come, because we're celebrating your academic achievement at Texas Tech. And we're also celebrating, I think, your experiences and the relationships that you've made. And I know very well that not everything that happened to you at Texas Tech is great, all right? There are ups and downs to a college education. But overall, we hope it's been pretty good. I'm sure there have been some times when you've had to call parents and explain why something happened or didn't happen. Let me share with you a letter that a Texas Tech co-ed wrote to her parents after she'd been here for a while. Dear Mother and Dad, since I left for college, I've been remiss in writing, and I'm sorry for my thoughtlessness. I'm getting along pretty well now. The skull fracture and the concussion I got when I jumped out the window of my residence hall is pretty well healed. The residence hall caught on fire, and I had to jump out. I only spent 2 weeks in the hospital, and I can almost see normally now, and I only get sick headaches once a day. Fortunately, the fire at the residence hall was witnessed by an attendant at a local gas station. He called the fire department and the ambulance. He also visited me in the hospital. And since I had nowhere to live because of the burned out dormitory, he offered to share his apartment. It's really a basement room, but it's kind of cute. He is a very fine boy, and we've fallen deeply in love. And we're planning to get married. We haven't set the date yet, but it will be before my pregnancy begins to show. Yes, Mother and Dad, I am pregnant, and I know how much you're looking forward to being grandparents, and I know you'll welcome the baby and give it the same love and tender care that you gave me when I was a child. The reason for the delay in our marriage is that my boyfriend has a minor infection, and that's prevented us from passing our premarital blood test. And I've carelessly caught it from him. I know you'll welcome him into our family. He's kind, not very well educated, but very ambitious. Okay, now that I brought you up to date, let me tell you, there was no fire. I don't have a concussion or a skull fracture. I'm not in the hospital, I'm not pregnant, I'm not engaged, I'm not infected, there is no boyfriend. However, I'm going to make a D in history and an F in chemistry. It's all relative. Okay, again, when you look at this ring in the future, we hope it will bring back really good memories of a great education and great relationships that you made at Texas Tech. Maybe you'll even think about a few professors who caused you to stretch a little bit further than you thought you could. Some of the major events that take place, the Carol of Lights, Will Rogers wrapped in red on Fridays before games. Just a lot of really good experiences. Now, in 1998, the Student Alumni Board, that's the group that greeted you, helped you find your seat, got your t-shirts and so on, they did a market study to try to determine if Texas Tech students would embrace a single ring tradition, and the results were very positive. So they sat down with members of the Student Government Association and designed the ring that you'll receive tonight. It is a ring that will not change, and we will have a presentation on that at some point to kind of take you through a little bit of a tour of this ring. You've earned the ring. You had to have 75 hours to qualify to receive it. When you put it on tonight, we recommend that the double T face outward, inward. And on graduation day, President Skubinik will invite you to take the ring off and turn it around so the double T faces outward as a symbol that you have graduated from Texas Tech. When you registered this evening, you received a one-year membership in the Alumni Association. Dr. Skubinik's office is providing you with an additional one-year membership, so that's two. We hope you'll make it 3 and 4 and 5 and so on down the line. In fact, you know, this is just one phase. You're graduating, but you're still part of Texas Tech. And we hope you'll remember that wherever you go and whatever you do, and that you'll support the university. There are a lot of ways you can do that, not just monetarily, although that helps, but just by your presence. Where you go, find the local chapter of alumni and get involved. Help with college nights to recruit high school students. Just stand up and put in a good word for Texas Tech. We hope that receiving the ring will make you even prouder of your Red Raider heritage. Like I say, we encourage you to get involved in many, many ways. Let me introduce the stage party, the people who are going to participate in this ceremony tonight. We're very pleased to have with us Texas Tech Senior Vice Provost Dr. Rob Stewart. Dr. Stewart will present you with your ring as you come across the stage, and your name is called, and we'd encourage you to, that card you have, bring that card with you when you line up over here. That makes it easier for us to locate the ring and get it to you. We'd also ask you to hold the ring until everyone has received one. Christina Butler, who's the Director of Multimedia and Communications for our association, will read your names as you come across the stage. And Dr. Todd Chambers, who is an Associate Dean and Associate Professor in the College of Media and Communications, will then take you on this tour of the ring and point out features of the ring that we think are important. The Texas Tech Federal Credit Union is the official sponsor of this event. They will present you also with a replica class ring paperweight as you exit the stage. Let me introduce Sarah D'Agostani and Tyler Young from the credit union, and Tyler would like to say a word or two at this time.
Well, thank you for being here tonight. It's an honor for Sarah and I to get to celebrate with you and just remember this special occasion. As Dr. Dean talked about, these rings have a lot of memories associated with them. Just being here the last couple of nights have reminded me of some of mine. Living in the dorm in Murdo Hall, you don't really know what it's like to live in the dorm until the couch that you sit on is also the bed that you sleep on when you pull it out from the wall. Just remember some late nights at the library, going to study for finals and feeling like I was leaving not knowing much more than when I got there. Some late nights, some early mornings, some great football games, and just some very positive memories. Just want to encourage you to stay involved. As you look around, these people, your family, there is a great legacy of Red Raiders that have gone on before you. I have a picture that I keep and have brought with me. It's my great-grandmother. She came back to Tech in the late 60s when she was 71 because she loved this university and wanted to grow in her education, and it's just a cool memory for me in a long line of Red Raiders. So just stay involved with the Alumni Association, supporting your university, and just connecting with Red Raiders wherever you may go. Congratulations, we wish you the best, and are honored to be here with you tonight.
Also, as you exit after receiving the ring, there's a roll that we'll ask you to sign. Everyone who's ever received a ring at any one of these ring ceremonies has signed that roll. And also, a very important member of our stage party is Noah Hearn. Noah is the first vice president of Saddle Tramps. Okay. And his role will be explained as we get into this tour of the ring. Okay. Let me also introduce our marketing staff, the people that put this together. Off to my left is Brent Ross, the Associate Vice President for Marketing. Mandy Wiley, our Director of Affinity Merchandise, who really is in charge of this program. Laura Bixler, our Director of Membership. Brett Weingartner, who is the videographer there, Coordinator of Marketing, Public Relations, and Membership. Madison Tatum, who is the Assistant Director of Membership. Alex Arnold, the Student Alumni Board President. Tim Shore, and both Tim Shore and Kurt Langford are off to my right. Hold up your hand. They're both graduates of Texas Tech, and they are representatives of the Balfour Company. The Balfour Company made your ring. And so when this is over tonight, if you have any concerns or questions about that ring, they will be right here. We'd invite you to come up and share those concerns. Obviously, this is for life. We want you to be absolutely 100% satisfied with that ring. And these two guys will see that that happens. Okay? Grad images. We'll take pictures tonight. They'll also be available for pictures around the building and outside after this is over. The photographers will be in the lounge and outside as well. Susan Peterson from the La Ventana is in the foyer back there if anyone is interested in or considering purchasing a yearbook. So at this time, we want to start the program, but I first of all want to introduce to you Dr. Stewart to say a few remarks before we begin the proceedings. Dr. Stewart currently serves as the Senior Vice Provost. He was an Associate Dean in the College of Arts and Sciences for 11 years. He's also a professor in the Department of Communication Studies, came to Texas Tech in 1984, received his BS in Business Communications from Lubbock Christian University, his MA from Texas Tech in Speech Communications, and a doctorate in Speech Communications and Educational Psychology from West Virginia. He's published over 24 research articles and is a co-author of 3 textbooks. Dr. Stewart.
Well, good evening. I finally learned something I hope to have learned many years ago as a classroom teacher, and that is if you want to get a group of students to move seats in class, just offer them some bling. And apparently that carries a lot of weight because y'all moved right away for Dr. Dean this evening. I want to bring you greetings on behalf of President Skovanec and Provost Gallion. Congratulate you students on where you are so far in your education. To the point that you qualify for the opportunity to have this official class ring of Texas Tech University. Mention has already been made about several aspects of the ring, and I kind of want to build on those aspects. Relationship, memory, commitment. So if you'll bear with me for a moment, I want to relate it to a different kind of ring, and then draw from that how I think it's relevant to where you are now and where you will be in the future with Texas Tech. You know, it's been said that a wedding ring has the shape it has to represent the eternity of relationship that is represented in the marriage, in the relationship that ring is coveted for. That ring is continuous. It doesn't have any breaks in it. It's almost unbreakable in its strength. This ring is a bond that lasts and lasts because of that lack of breakage. Its circularity, it never ends either direction. It continues, and that speaks to having some reflection, some memory from time to time on the basis of that commitment in that relationship and why that relationship is important. Some memory of the dedication that each party of the relationship was to give to one another. Now, I don't use that simile to suggest in any way that what you're receiving tonight is anything like a wedding ring, and it's certainly not to suggest to any of you guys that are thinking about proposing that you use tonight's ring as a proxy for the real thing. I'm not suggesting any such thing, but I would suggest that some of the aspects of the circularity of the ring as it means to marriage can also relate to the relationship we hope you have with Texas Tech University and the Alumni Association for years to come. Texas Tech has been committed to you and will continue that commitment virtually forever. It's a forever relationship, if you will, that certainly starts when you graduate, that may even have begun tonight as you take this ring. From time to time, remember Texas Tech is always mentioned. You may not wear that ring forever. Hopefully you might replace it with some other ring if you haven't already. But place it somewhere where you'll see it occasionally. You know, maybe your toothbrush holder or somewhere like that where you'll see it daily. And reflect on your experience at Texas Tech has already been said. But remember that commitment. And in the same way Texas Tech is committed to you, we would hope that you'll remain committed to Texas Tech through affinity for the university, through a spirit of camaraderie with the university, maintaining ties with old friends and acquaintances from the university. People you'll meet in the future you don't even know yet will have ties to the university. You'll start new relationships on the basis of that affinity with the university. And of course, we hope you act on behalf of the university from time to time as well. As Dr. Dean said, that might be giving, but it's also attending events related to Texas Tech, coming home for games, coming to academic reunions of some sort, remain engaged with the university. So I hope you'll think about this ring as a mutual commitment between the university and yourselves as you move forward to complete your education here and on beyond that into whatever the future may bring for you. We want to thank the Alumni Association for the many ways that they support and encourage our students, Dr. Dean for his leadership and that of his staff that continues to foster that commitment time and time again, not only with you tonight, but for thousands of alumni around the country. What they do from this place and around the country and actually parts of the world is just so significant to what we're trying to accomplish at Texas Tech as a higher education institution. To your parents and friends that are here tonight, we're grateful for your presence. By your time and by your commitment to be here tonight, you're indicating the importance of this occasion to you as a family, to you as a friend, and that means a great deal to your students, and we're grateful for that as well. It's always a blessing and a great honor when a room like this is packed the way it is to those that are involved with the event. So we thank you very much for being here. Again, congratulations. Enjoy the evening. We look forward to seeing more from you as time passes. Thank you very much.
Michael Afengade, Dallas, Texas. Diana Alaman, Midland. Akina Amaliri, Houston. Noelle Anderson, Louisville. Hayden Andrews, Spring. Michael Arthur, League City. Austin Ashlock, Toller. Daniel Ayala, Lubbock. Megan Bailey, Crum. Lane Baker, Lubbock. Michael Barden, Austin. Clara Benavides, Big Spring. Samuel Boyd, Dallas. Brianna Brooks, Frisco. Alexis Broughton, Midland. Danielle Brown, Round Rock. Zach Buford, Vernon. Claudio Bustos, Leveland. Connor Butchin, Midlothian. Lauren Canali, Lubbock. Jessica Carr, Frederick, Oklahoma. Cole Carter, Lubbock. Houston Cartwright, Carlsbad, New Mexico. Carlos Casares, Lubbock. Samuel Castañeda, Lubbock. Colton Clinton, Denver City. Sarah Connell, Amarillo. Tyler Connor, Slayton. Victoria Cordero, Midland. John Coronado, New Braunfels. Allison Cox, Rowlett. Jonathan Kataya, Conroe. Kendra Dolly, Bastrop. Chase DeHaven, San Antonio. JJ Dela Cruz, Morton. Christopher Dill, Allen. Rishi Doctor, Midland. Marindy Dorsey, Terrell. Mark Eslick, Eddy. Justin Ferries, Lubbock. Anna Farmer, Allen. Jake Fletcher, Fort Worth. Faith Flores, Lubbock. Ryan Ford, Houston. Austin Frank, Houston. Travis Franklin, Seguin. Joshua Frazier, Frost. Kevin Galvan, Frisco. Elizabeth Garcia, Austin. Kenya Garcia, Alton. Lauren Garibay, Lubbock. Kelsey Gonzalez, Lubbock. Robert Graff, Austin. Nicholas Gregg, Fort Worth. Leslie Halford, San Antonio. Brandon Hall, Georgetown. Holt Hambright, San Angelo. Lindsay Hamer, St. Hedwig. Jennifer Hand, Spring. Zach Hardaway, Allen. Carl Hartman, Lubbock. Dax Hayes, Dumas. Justin Heap, Alvord, Texas. Sheldon Henry, San Angelo. Reina Hernandez Lopez, Houston. Kristen Hicks, Belverde, Texas. Gabriel Hongsermeyer, Spring. Billy Engel, Arlington. Jason Irwin, Lubbock. Michael Eisenbert, Keller. Jax Isclear, Alvarado. William Jackson, Humble. Shelby Jenkins, San Antonio. Brooke Johnson, Fairfield. Wimberly Johnson, San Antonio. Luke Jordan, Corsicana. Eugenio Juarez, Carrizo Springs. Reese Kinman, Lubbock. Paul Koberline, Austin. Braden Lee, San Angelo. James Legg, Dumas. Cami Lewis, Fort Worth. Amora Lopez, Sundown. Vanessa Lopez, Trenton. Sydney Lytle, Anson. Samuel Macias Jr., San Antonio. Logan Martyr, Spring. Earl Mast, Spring. Tiffany Matthews, Hawley. Chelsea Maddox, Lubbock. Christopher Maver, Dallas. Wes McCutcheon, Shallowater. Clayton McGilvray, Haslett. Courtney McKinley, Snyder. Sorry. Brandon Medina, San Antonio. Salvador Mendez Martinez, Monterrey, Mexico. Derek Messer, Flower Mound. Joseph Miller, Grapevine. Lindsay Milner, Harper. Ashley McGolin, Weatherford. Timothy Moore, Houston. Zachary Moore, Rowlett. Christopher Morales, Fort Worth. Kevin Morin, Corpus Christi. Jeremy Morrison, Red Oak. Sean Morrow, Nolan. David Mueller, Spring. Carly Jo Mujica, San Antonio. Salome Nakawisa, Uganda. Kyle Noakes, Kingwood. Justin Norwood, Tomball. Joseph Novotny, Dallas. Catherine O'Brien, McQueenie. Michaela O'Donnell, Houston. Emily Oliver, Live Oak. Ryan Ormandy, Van. Danny Otto, Wichita Falls. Victor Ovalle, Ferris. Carolyn Owen, El Paso. Caitlin Pagel, Canton. Paul Palomo, Houston. Rana Parrish, Baytown. Ashley Pasqua, Fort Worth, Fort Davis. Christy Petrie, Azle. Jody Pfeiffer, Christabel. Anthony Portillo, Midland. Andrew Prather, Bernie. Colton Prizemeyer, Katy. Kirsten Rainey, Plano. James Ray, Canyon. Jennifer Reed, Mineral Wells. Justin Rex, Houston. Evan Riley, Muleshoe. Jose Rivera, San Juan. Libby Roach, San Antonio. Lindsay Robles, Katy. Lawrence Rodriguez, San Antonio. Nestor Rodriguez, Bogota, Colombia. Joshua Roller, Amarillo. Stephen Rosas, Liberty Hill. Rianne Rubenthaler, Whiteface. Lane Russell, Waco. Nina Salas, Lubbock. Mason Salinas, Buda. Alexis Sandoval, Amarillo. Travis Chattel, Kingwood. Lauren Schmidt, The Woodlands. Casey Schock, Katy. Austin Shriver, Salina. Savannah Schrader, Magnolia. Kai Schwartz, San Angelo. Garrett Cittern, Anson. Madison Seal, Grandview. Joshua Sinkovich, Terrell. Robert Sessoms, Henderson. Matthew Setzicorn, Katy. Mason Sile, Houston. Alexandra Shelton, Denton. Wilson Sims, Houston. Drew Snellgrove, Stanton. Brandon Solis, Big Spring. Colin Sprang, Colleyville. Austin Starkey, Fulshire. Brian Stroka, Conroe. Joshua Stuvey, San Jose, California. Tony Swan, Colleyville, Texas. Joelle Tingy, Lubbock. Heidi Taylor, Sweetwater. Shelby Thornton, Driftwood. Yadira Torres, Lubbock. Easton Turner, Lubbock. Jack Vanderberg, Lubbock. Josh Vaughn, Round Rock. Chelsea Vineyard, Stephenville. Matthew Wade, Houston. Brian Wang, Austin. Scott Welch, Weatherford. Kendall Wheeler, Crum. Chris Wieland, Cibolo. Zachary Williams, El Paso. Austin Wolfenberger, Carrollton. Ryan Wright, Goldwaite. Nathan Zuar, Fort Worth. Crystal Zubia, Kermit. Rhett Spruce, Angleton. James Koch, Southern Pines, North Carolina. R.C. Perez, Lubbock. Ashley Gordy, White Oak. Brian Kuntz, Roanoke. Is that everyone? Does everyone have a ring? Take another. Take another. All right, thank you. Congratulations.
I think they deserve a little more applause. What do you think? All right, students, let me ask you, or actually let me ask the back of the room. How many parents and brothers and sisters do we have here tonight? Could y'all stand up real quick, the parents? And how about grandparents? Do we have any grandparents here tonight? Any grandparents? All right, students, I want you to give these people standing a big old round of applause. I think I can speak on behalf of those in the front of the room, parents and family members. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming tonight, but more importantly, thank you for sharing a little bit of time that your student has shared with us here at Texas Tech. I am very, very, very proud. I love Tech. I love its traditions, but tonight represents one of my most favorites. As I was walking up tonight, just being able to see all the families getting their picture made, their student getting a picture made right in front of that big old ring, it just makes me smile every time, because I know how hard you have put in the last few years. But it is my pleasure to welcome you to the official ring ceremony of Texas Tech University. The official class ring symbolizes a significant achievement in your academic career here at Texas Tech. And honestly, I really, really want to congratulate you on this achievement. At this time, I want everybody that received the box to open that box. And I want you to take them out. Now, don't put them on yet, okay? Just take the ring out and hold it in your hand. Because what we're here to do tonight is to take you on a little tour about the iconic symbols represented on your ring by leading you on a very imaginary but very real journey through campus in your time here at Texas Tech. Now guests, please use your program to follow along with us on this journey around the ring. Now, if you weren't able to get a program, just share with your neighbor if you don't mind during this time, and so that way you can kind of follow along where we're going. Now, students, I want you to do me a favor. Think back to that very first time you heard about Texas Tech University. You remember what that looked like? Maybe it was a parent or a relative who attended Texas Tech. And I gotta be honest, it's kind of humbling to be up here and then see someone who you went to school with and their son goes across and they're getting one of these rings. I was kind of shocked to see that tonight, so I was like, really? Anyway, maybe your first time to hear about Texas Tech, maybe it was a Texas Tech football game. Maybe it was on the radio. For me, I remember listening to Jack Dell broadcast live on the radio, broadcast a Texas Tech football or a basketball game. Maybe it was when you were looking at colleges online. You were checking out the red and black on a website. Maybe you were at your high school and you were looking at a view book, or your high school counselor had a catalog from Texas Tech. And honestly, you probably looked at dozens of universities, but one stood out. The one with the scarlet and the black, the one with the double T. Now, I grew up on a farm about 50 miles from here. I grew up outside of Brownville, Texas. And for me, I remember listening to Jack Dale and Texas Tech football. I remember when Texas Tech was part of the Southwest Conference, and Tech would play up in Arkansas in these exotic sounding locations, which I later found out that they weren't so exotic, like Fayetteville. But I remember sitting in my grandparents' living room imagining what it might be like to be the next Andre Tillman. Now, neither of my parents went to college, but my mom's parents did. In fact, my granddad was a 1971 TTU graduate. I remember sitting in their house, and I just remember that sitting on top of their television was a ceramic or porcelain Raider Red. And some of you may have even had one of those. And in fact, tonight, before you leave this beautiful facility, right on the other side of that wall right there is a display, and you can actually see one of the Raider Reds like I'm talking about. So tonight I encourage you to look around this building, and you can see one of those Raider Reds there. So I kind of grew up in Texas Tech's shadow, and I kind of always knew that I'd probably end up here, but I'm very thankful that I did come here in 1984. And after earning my undergrad degree in journalism, and I worked as a staff member here actually, I went on to get my master's here in mass communication. I moved away for a little bit to get a PhD, but I had the opportunity in 1999 to come back here, and it's been the best decision of my life. So honestly, I can safely say that I've pretty much spent my entire adult life doing something related to Texas Tech. And in fact, tonight is pretty special to me because I brought something that's very relevant to tonight. I brought my idol's ring, my granddad. When he graduated in 1971, he received this ring from Texas Tech University. And tonight, as we take this journey, it's pretty awesome to think that the symbols that are on this ring are the same symbols that are on your ring. So tonight's very special to me. So I want you to look now at the top of your ring. Whether you have a traditional ring or the signet ring, the iconic double T sits prominently on top. There's no other symbol more associated with Texas Tech than the double T. Now, although no one has ever claimed credit for the design, historic documents date the first appearance to 1926 when it showed up on some sweaters made for the football team. The double T represents the foundation of our university as Texas Technological College, as well as the university that we've become today. Inscribed around the raised double T is our official name, Texas Tech University. Now, it's got two separate stars and the date of our foundation, which is 1923. Now, it was then when the Texas legislature decided that rather than a branch campus, thank goodness, of Texas A&M, an entirely new university would better serve the needs of the West Texas region. On February 10th, 1923, Texas Governor Pat Neff signed the legislation creating Texas Technological College, and in July of that year, a committee began searching for a location for the school. When the members of the committee visited Lubbock, they were overwhelmed to find residents lining the streets to show support for the idea of hosting the institution. That August, Lubbock was chosen on the first ballot over other area towns. Now listen to some of these: Floydada, Plainview, and Sweetwater. Now, let's turn our rings to the left. Now, our journey of campus begins. So, Now, think about this. Now, picture yourself standing at the Broadway entrance of campus. Now, right in front of you, you see what I'm seeing? You see that gigantic granite university seal that was designed in 1924 by campus master planner William Ward Watkin. The same seal that you find engraved on your ring. This seal first appeared on Texas Tech diplomas in 1948, but was not officially approved as the seal of Texas Tech University until 1953. So let's examine that up close. So President Horn, who was truly a visionary when it came to our foundation in early years, selected 5 symbols inside the seal, which he believed were the 5 great institutions of a democracy. So in the upper left-hand quadrant on the shield is a book. That represents church. In the lower left quadrant is a key. That symbolizes home. Now in the upper right quadrant is the star, the symbol for state, and in the lower right quadrant is the lamp of learning. That represents school. These elements are separated by 10 cotton bolls representing industry, as well as Lubbock and its surrounding 9 cotton-producing counties. And sitting atop is an American eagle, our national bird. The shield is surrounded by the inscription, Texas Tech University, Lubbock. All right. So we've done that. Now let's walk a little bit. Let's walk down Amon G. Carter Plaza, past the fountains, past where the Christmas tree sits during the Carol of Lights, past the statue of Will Rogers and soap suds. Of course, Dr. Dean just said it's wrapped in red, right? It's wrapped in red on game days, on weekends. And then let's go ahead and walk right into Memorial Circle. Now, as you turn your rings to the right, imagine physically turning to your right and tell me, what do you see to the north? What do you see when you turn that north? You see it? You see kind of over the roof of the far end of the engineering key? You see Jones AT&T Stadium. Do you remember that first game? Do you remember when you walked out of the dorm and you went over in front of the sub and you waited for the band and you walked down behind you marched with the band as they walked in to the stadium? You remember that? Remember how cool that was? Well, guess what? It's still cool. And it's still going to be cool 20 years from now. Trust me on that. Remember that first time when you saw the masked rider lead the team out onto the field? I tell you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter how old you get or how many times you see it. It is still one of the most dramatic entrances for college football. Now, on the right side of your ring, you will see an image of this beloved mascot. That symbol is no stranger to you, of course, but perhaps you aren't aware of its history. In 1936, the same year, Arch Lamb founded the Saddle Tramps. As a male spirit organization, a ghost rider appeared at the beginning of a home football game with the Arizona State Lumberjacks. Resplendent in a scarlet and black cape and mask, the rider circled the field at the start of the game on a palomino and then galloped off to the amazement of the crowd. It wasn't until 1954, in Tech's appearance in the Gator Bowl, that Joe Kirk Fulton, with red cape and mask, rode a borrowed black horse into the Gator Bowl stadium to the utter astonishment of the crowd. The football team was evidently inspired by this masked rider, as Tech went on to pummel Auburn 35-13. And so the tradition was fixed. To this day, Texas Tech retains the scarlet and black caped masked rider on a black horse. Now, using your imaginations, let's turn and let's face just the opposite way. So we're in Memorial Circle, and we're turning this way, and you see the administration building. That was one of the first structures built on campus more than 9 decades ago. The building was architecturally designed in the Spanish Renaissance style with ornate carvings, archways, and its Spanish tiled roof. One of the main features of this building is its twin bell towers. The one on the west that houses the carillon bells that you hear ringing out musical melodies, and the one on the east that houses the 2 victory bells. And tonight, I'm telling you, if you haven't, make sure you also go to the center of campus and just walk through that archway in the administration building. It's a beautiful night tonight, and I guarantee you won't regret that walk. If you look behind the masked rider on your ring, you're going to see the engraving of the East Bell Tower. The victory bells, which together weigh 1,200 pounds, were first rung in 1936 after a win over TCU. The Saddle Tramps and High Riders, part of our Campus Spirit organizations, continue to ring the victory bells after athletic wins and other momentous occasions, such as today's ring ceremony. In fact, we have with us on stage Saddle Tramp Noah Hearn, who is going to head over to the bell tower and ring the victory bells for each one of you. Noah, thank you very much. Wreck-em. Now, look with me to the inside of your rings. There you're going to find the words, "Strive for Honor." This inscription is from the Matador song and serves as a charge to every Texas Tech graduate to excel with integrity in all endeavors. Below that, you're going to find your personalized inscription that is unique to your ring. This inscription is your identifier, so if your ring is ever lost, the honest finder can return it to you by contacting the Alumni Association here or the Balfour Company. So to the bottom of the ring we go. It's very easy here. Do you see what's on the bottom? Double T's tied with a decorative band. So now that we've taken you on a geographical and historical tour of your ring, hopefully it's even more meaningful to you now that you know all about its symbols. When you think about it, your ring really encapsulates Texas Tech and will forever serve to remind you about what being a Red Raider means. Of course, it's a sign of academic success and your accomplishments, but it's also about the pride you have in your alma mater. As you travel around Lubbock, across the state, the country, or even around the world, your ring's going to serve as a symbol of honor. Someone's going to see it. They're going to ask you about it. They're going to say, "Hey, look at mine." Use your ring to bear your banner proudly. Now then, you may now put on your rings. Remember, the double T will face you until graduation day, so it faces you. The double T does. Then, when you graduate, President Skubinik, he will ask you to turn your ring around so that the double T faces outward. Congratulations, Red Raiders. Thank you.
One little item, there's somebody in this audience that does not have a key fob to their car. I have it. You might want to check that out. I'll be up here after this program is over. All right, let's stand up and conclude the program. Come on, Student Alumni Board, get up here. These fellow students have worked really hard to put this on. Let's give them a hand. We'll conclude this program by singing the Matador song.